Hello everyone, this is the Sports Show podcast, and today we're joined with Aidan Walsh. How are you, mate?
I'm all good, thanks, buddy. How you?
All good, mate. Thank you. So we're just gonna get straight into it. What got you started into boxing?
My dad, when I was around 7 years of age, brought me into. So he did. He was a boxing man himself. He actually brought me into Snaggs' boxing club. As I say, at 7 years of age, and ever since then, as people call it, the boxing bug got me. So, just like a normal kid, and like in every walk of life, you get brought to a boxing club. My dad was a boxer. Named Michaela, my sister. She was boxing, and it all just started from there.
Yeah, and of course you said about Michaela there. Do you think she's had a sort of big impact on your career so far? Because of you could have been training together as well, I suppose.
Massive, to be honest. I think if it wasn't for Michaela, I don't think I would even be boxing to this day. Along with obviously a lot of other people who influenced me, but having Michaela as a role model is everything that I seen growing up. That got me to where I am now. It's been because of Michaela. A lot of stuff that I copied off her and watched her doing, and how she approached things and how she done things. I copied that, and for me, that's got me sort of the achievements that I have today, to be honest. But again, it's great, and I think it's all about role models, having good positive role models in your life, and having people who's there to support you. And I think that means the most.
Yeah, definitely. And then I think you fought your first sort of major tournament was at the Commonwealth Youth Games, would it be in 2015? I'm near sure.
Yeah, 2015. Like that team, looking back, was incredible. It was myself, James McGivern, Brad McGinty, Steve McKenna, and Kieran Bradley. All four of the other guys are professionals. I'm the only last amateur standing, so it's great. All them guys have been on to do really, really well. We actually brought five over to them games, and five of us were in the final. Three gold medals and two silvers. The two lads were just very unlucky to miss out on the goals, but it was a great experience and a great as a youth boxer to be able to get them experiences then at that age to go on to senior level after that. So it was great.
Yeah, yeah, and just talking about that there, do you think that's what had a positive impact on you as a young man as well, just coming into the sport?
Yeah, definitely. It gives you that taste of elite boxing, of what the venues are like, of what the atmosphere is like. They win in the day of the fights, getting the pre-fight routine, the battle plans and stuff. It gives you that taster. Again, having great coaches. Back then, it was John Conlon, Damien Kennedy. So great coaches, great experience, and all through high performance culture, and that's what you're brought in is the experience, that culture of high performance, and for me that stays with you, and it goes a long way.
Yeah, and then just 3 years after that, you fought at the actual Commonwealth Games then, and you came out with a silver medal. Were you always expecting to go in there to get a medal?
To be honest, for me the Commonwealth Games was always massive because Michaela 4 years previous to that had won silver in the 2014 Glasgow Commonwealth Games. So for me, the Commonwealth Games was always a massive part of my life, and it's always something that I wanted to achieve. Getting there and going through that experience, it was brilliant, of course, and it was my first major medal at a major tournament, and I got the chance then to fight Pat McCormick for the gold medal and experience what it was like at the elite level. And for me, it was great. And to be honest, since then, it just gave me a real taster again of elite level boxing and the culture and how to train and how to prepare. And again, I was around great other great athletes in terms of Sean McComb, Kurt Walker, Brendan Irving, Michaela. Like there was loads of other there was loads of boxers who are there who Stephen Donnelly as well who had a real good resume of amateur boxing. So I was constantly learning off them, and again to be surrounded by people like that, it's great, and that only brings you on too.
Yeah, yeah, and then we'll just talk about now the Olympic Games. We'll go through all different wee stuff, but first of all, how was to represent your country on such a big stage?
Again, the represent your country is an honour at any level, at any stage, and no matter what sport. I think a lot of the time people get caught up in medals and achievements and things like that, but people forget that to get out of Ireland is extremely hard. To leave Ireland and represent your country is extremely hard. Again, everybody puts this big emphasis on doing well, winning medals. You're already doing well when you walk in that boxing gym. You could be out in them streets. You could be out doing things that isn't very productive. So for me, that in itself is an achievement. The medals and the success and things like that are just a bonus. But to be able to represent your country, to be able to see different cultures, different environments, it's incredible. Not only as an athlete, but it builds you as a person. And I think that stays with you more throughout your life, and you learn more life lessons through them learnings and through them culture changes.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about now. You went obviously the whole village and all, and with COVID, it must have been a big change. But how was your overall experience with the village? And of course, there's countries all over the world there about the culture as well.
It's something that the Olympic dream is something that changes your life forever. And someone always said that to me. And when you go to the Olympics, it'll change your life forever. And if you get a medal, it'll change your life forever. And I always remember saying, I don't think it will. And it doesn't in terms of your lifestyle or the person you are, just in terms of how you're seen then as an athlete, how you're seen as a person. It's incredible, it is. But for me, when you get to the Olympic Games, it's the pinnacle. And I remember when I was 11 years of age walking into the Holy Family Boxing Club and they had the Olympic rings. And in between each rings, they had the name of the boxers. And for me, subconsciously, that was in my mind throughout my whole career. And I think seeing like Olympians, even like Hugh Russell, I used to talk to Hugh Russell all the time. He was an Olympic bronze medalist, and he always just used to give me wee pieces of advice and wee things like that. So there are wee things that there are wee seeds that people plant in your head, and I think if you can just slowly but surely work towards it. But again, I don't think getting the Olympics defines you. I know a lot of people the Olympics is their goal and they may not reach it, but if you reach it, it's great. But if not, it's not the end of the world. Like it's sport. It's sport and the best obviously fight the best, but you need that bit of luck. For me to get the Olympic Games, you need a bit of luck. You need certain things to go in your favour. Like it's all you need. You need certain things to work in your favour, and you just need that bit of luck. And I think having the humility to say that, okay, I work hard, but of course you need a bit of push behind you. And like, there's a lot of stuff we can't control, and so again, just even to do well in sport, to do well in Ireland, if the Olympic Games happens for you, great. If not, it's not the end of the world. There's so much more.
Yeah, and how was it with the whole COVID thing? Because the whole face masks, and the 2 meter distance and stuff. How weird sort of was that for you?
Well, we were away for near 7 weeks, so we were, and I was long. But when we got to Tokyo, they were very strict. We were in a camp in Miyazaki for 2 or 3 weeks, and it was strict. Now there was cones laid out, and we weren't allowed out of certain areas and stuff. So it was a good experience that way. And then when we got into the village, once you were in the village, it was just obviously testing every day and wear the masks indoors and stuff. But there was a bit more freedom in the village in terms of everybody was tested. You only get into the village if you were or you were negative. Anyone that was positive then wasn't allowed in. So it was a real tight knit sort of thing that happened. And when you went in, it was like I didn't hear anybody getting COVID, to be honest, in the village. So that was a good sign. And again, no one on our team got it, so it was great.
Yeah, and of course with that whole experience, it must have been even better to come home with a bronze medal.
Yeah, like, of course it's great to do well, but to be honest, see even getting there is extremely tough. And then there's people that miss out by the skin of their teeth. Like it's sport, and it's elite level sport again. It's something that's the highs are high and the lows are low. But even to get the Olympic Games, I hold that with great honour. And to be an Olympian, never mind a medalist, regardless of the medal, to be an Olympian is incredible. To be able to represent your country at the Olympic Games, it's incredible. Like, the medal is a bonus and it's great, but I hold a great honour to even to be an Olympian, alongside my sister and other great teammates and the great team we had at Tokyo.
Yeah, and of course the most recent big event you had was at the Commonwealth Games there in Birmingham. Yeah, you won a
Yeah,
gold medal, and again must have been unreal because you said before how much the Commonwealth Games meant to you.
yeah. To be honest, as my career's gone on, I've just finding a lot of the things I used to strive for, I don't really strive for anymore. In terms of my main goal now is happiness. You have to be happy doing elite sport. You have to enjoy it. You have to. There's a lot of goals, and people always say, get a medal, and what colour this, and then all of a sudden you're defined what colour medal you have. You're defined by, oh, you're a bronze medalist, or you're a silver medalist, or you're a gold medalist. And to be honest, for me, it means nothing. There's people there that are here amazing. People may not get a gold medal. There's people there that may not be. May it just depends. Again, people do well. They think it's great. Of course, it is great. But then the people that don't do well think it's the end of the world.
Yeah,
Well, I'm more worried about the people who don't do well and think it's the end of the world, because it's not. If for every circle that you have, like, you're more than just an athlete. An athlete is only one wee piece, and you're so much. You're a brother. You're a friend. You're an uncle. You're a worker. You're so much things outside of boxing or out of sport that that you are. So for me, again, the medal's great. I'm not saying it in any way that I'm ungrateful. I'm grateful and I enjoyed the experience. But if you can enjoy the small moments, if you can enjoy your training, if you can enjoy the people around you and enjoy the environments, enjoy the culture, I think that is the main thing. And if you can come away from the tournament and say, you know what, I enjoyed that. Now, I don't mean enjoy it in terms of going out and staying up late and partying and things like that. I just mean enjoy being happy, being content, being injury free, just small wee things like that. And I think that means the most. And I think for me, a lot of people who I would love to help now is in terms of getting people in that sort of mind of, okay, I actually want to enjoy this instead of going away and having to put so much pressure on themselves and so much pressure from other people saying you need to do good, especially you need to get this for your funding or this for this or you need to do well. We've coached you from you were 10 years of age. You need to do well. There's certain things, and that's all people putting pressure on you. So again, if you can just put the right amount of pressure on yourself to go and enjoy it, to perform and have a good experience, for me, that means the most.
Yeah. And for you personally, what's the sort of next step for you? Where do you want to be next, or what competitions next for you?
To be honest, I actually don't know. I don't. I just again, I want to just enjoy sport. I'm a training at the minute. I want to enjoy sport because people say like you're traveling the world, you're doing this, of course. But again, it relates back to are you enjoying doing it? Like you're going to a job or you're going anywhere, do you enjoy doing it? And if you're not, then you need to ask yourself certain questions. So for me, now it's just about completely enjoying sport. Now I know that there's going to be times when it's going to get tough, training's going to be tough, and you have to make a few sacrifices. But to be honest, I just think if you can get to a point where you train, you stay injury free, you manage yourself well, you manage your lifestyle, and you manage things that go on outside of the gym, I think you can't go wrong. And whatever tournament comes up, obviously the Olympic qualifiers and stuff for next year, and to our Paris is the year after. So there's things that happen, but if I go, great. And to be honest, if I don't go to Olympics next Olympics, it's not really a big deal. Of course, I would love to, but you can just do what you can do. And again, I just want to enjoy it. Again, but if the Olympics happens, great. I'd love to go to 2 Olympic Games and say that, but if not, it's not the end of the world. And I'm sure there'll be something else for me.
Yeah. And just before earlier on, you says that the rest of that Commonwealth Games team have went professional. Is there anything in your mind that maybe persuades you to go professional?
Um, it just depends, really. Like I love watching professional boxing and stuff, but I love amateur too. Um, I don't really know. And honestly, I don't. I love the amateur boxing at the minute. I love the amateur scene. There's a lot of great boxers, especially in Ireland. Every weight is competitive. There's a lot of up and comers coming through. There's a lot of people there who are successful, and so it's a great time for Irish boxing. So to be a part of that in the amateur scene is great. But professional, who knows? I don't really know. I don't know.
Yes. Thank you very much, Aidan, for coming on. It's been great to have you on, and thank you very much.
No problem at all, buddy. Thanks a
Thank
million.
you. Thanks. See you later.